Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Sophie, and this channel is chronicling my journey of living my best life with multiple chronic health conditions. Today we are going to talk about ketosis and the wonkiness that is my body. There is just no other way to say it. I had planned to really start the ketogenic diet on after Monday the 4th because I was supposed to go to a concert on Monday the 4th, and I planned to get a walking taco, and it has Doritos. Obviously that's not low carb, so I was going to really start after the 4th, but I wanted to get all of my ducks in a row and see where things were before that. So on May 1st I bought a Keto Mojo ketone meter. I was just going to buy the urine dipsticks, but I know from previously doing the ketogenic diet that after about a week or two they're just not that useful for me, nor are they useful during my menstrual cycle, and that's a whole other ball of wax, which is also wonky because perimenopause, but maybe that's a video for another time, I don't know. So I didn't think they'd be very useful, and I've always wanted a blood ketone meter because I've done ketosis in the past, I love it. So I did finally buy the Keto Mojo ketone meter. It does measure ketones as well as glucose, and then it gives you what's called a glucose ketone index, which sort of uses your blood sugar and your ketone level and gives you a number. And it's supposed to be sort of how much you're relying on ketones, not just whether or not you're in ketosis. And that's a big distinction, especially with a lot of my morning numbers. So first, let's start off with May 1st, I get it, and of course, hadn't really been doing a ketogenic diet. I normally, not always eat low carb. Yes, there are days like I might buy like a Domino's pizza and I might eat like half a pizza. It happens. Not gonna lie. But, so I'd had a half a pizza on, so I got it on a Friday. I got the meter on Friday. Wednesday, I'd eaten half a pizza throughout the day, not all at once. I'm fat, but I'm not all at once. I could, but it was not all at once. Then on early Thursday morning, like 1 a.m. on Thursday, I was still awake, which I should not have been. I had some ramen noodles because I basically just wanted the texture. Anyway, Friday afternoon, I get the keto meter, and it says I'm in ketosis. I am very confused. Now, I did not at this time realize you needed to do both the glucose and the ketones, so the first time I did not do the glucose with it. It was probably, I would not have had a very good GKI. It would not have been showing that I was using a lot of ketones because my blood sugar probably wasn't low enough given how low my ketones were. But then I started taking it more regularly. I take it in the morning and I'm normally in ketosis, which you'd kind of expect. You've been fasting overnight, and if you're eating sort of low-ish carbs, okay, like that makes sense. So on Saturday the 2nd, I was out all day. I only had like a protein bar, and I came home and I was very much in ketosis. My ketones were 1.4. Anything over 0.5 is considered nutritional ketosis. My blood sugar was 82 and the GKI score was 3.2, which is moderate ketosis based on that score. The ketones tell you whether you're in ketosis, and then the GKI sort of tells you how much your body is relying on ketosis. So I mean, I was doing it. I was doing the thing. Then I went to a spring festival, which again, more details in a life update video. I ended up having what's called ribbon fries, which is basically a spiralized deep fried potato with cheese. Again, I wasn't planning on going at this hardcore until Monday, March 4th. Well, probably March 5th anyway, so that's fine. And then I decided to sort of test my glucose and ketones serially after this. I did this for about 4 hours, and throughout those 4 hours, I was in ketosis until hour 4. And by then, I was slightly out of ketosis. I was at 0.4 ketones, where it remained in the morning. But by that evening, I was back in ketosis. Very weird. I still think this is weird. That I'm getting into nutritional ketosis, albeit very low nutritional ketosis, basically on the daily. That does not seem normal to me when you're eating a bunch of carbs and you're not purposefully doing a ketogenic diet. I have not tracked my carbs throughout this whole week, and I have been in ketosis every day. Every day. Morning ketones are normally lower than evening ketones, and evening ketones are very much dependent on whether I check before or after I eat dinner, because even though my dinner is something like, like a steakum in a romaine heart with some cheese, onions, and the like, there's still some carbs there. There's going to be some insulin response. Glucose is going to go up a little. So depending on whether I check my evening ketones before or after dinner, but even then my evening ketones are always higher than my morning ketones. My evening blood sugar is normally lower than my morning blood sugar. It's interesting. So when I wake up, my blood sugar does tend to spike some, and that is common. It probably happens to everyone to some degree because cortisol, when you wake up, your cortisol increases. That's what sort of wakes you up in the morning. So that's common, but mine just spikes more than normal. Like mine can spike into the 140s. I've seen it spike to 200s in the morning, and I haven't eaten or done anything. Hasn't been that bad, but morning I do get that spike, and staying in ketosis, it is trending down over the week, so that's a good sign. It does show that my body is responsive to change in dietary intake, which is good. And then I've noticed if I eat late at night, again, even though I'm eating low carb things like cheese, it still raises your blood sugar a little bit, and in the morning my blood sugar might be a little higher than if I would have stopped eating the multiple hours before bed like you're supposed to. So all in all, it's been a really interesting week. I will probably continue checking my blood sugar and ketones at least twice a day. I might go to 3 or 4 times a day, more out of curiosity. Like I said, that before and after dinner is really interesting for me. I'm also curious to see what happens before my first meal of the day, which is normally around lunchtime. I normally do not eat breakfast unless I'm like famished when I wake up, which normally only happens if I eat a lot of carbs for dinner, which obviously I'm not doing at the moment. I might get a little hungry in the morning, but it passes quickly, so I normally hold out until 11 or 12, 1 o'clock. So I might start doing it when I wake up, before I eat lunch, before I eat dinner, and then before bed, just to sort of see what the variability is throughout the day. Don't know how much I want to do that though, simply because these strips aren't cheap. And I don't want to just blow through them all in the first couple weeks. But I am curious, and sometimes I think that's worth paying for to find out. But that's how things are going. I have been in ketosis every day. I'm not really trying all that hard. I'm not counting carbs. I'm definitely not measuring sodium. I will probably start to count and measure maybe in the next week or so. I am going to a concert this weekend, a festival this weekend, which is even worse than a concert because I'm going to be there all day. I need to figure out a food situation. I'm basically considering just buying a burger and not eating the bun. That's the only thing I can think of that I could eat there. I'm obviously going to eat before I go, but I'm probably going to need to eat over those 11 or 12 hours that I'm there. And like I said, the burger with no bun is the only thing I can think of. But life update as to why these 2 weekends have been so crazy will be the next one. And then probably more ketosis videos. The muscle biopsy results are starting to come in, so when that happens, I will make a video about that. So in theory, the next few weekends I should have videos out. All I need to do is record them. But with that, I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye, guys.